Yeah, rather than you go out there, hit the stage, come off,
We're good.
so enjoy those 3 days.
All right, you guys ready?
Okay, we're starting, guys. We're starting.
Okay, Ninon's live intro in 3, 2.
Welcome to Vegas Live. I'm Ninon, your host, and we have an incredible show coming up. This is actually a new show for Vegas, and it's absolutely amazing. We are going to bring Vegas back to life again with the old, the new, and also in the middle. We have a fabulous guest with us today, and I'm going to introduce you to Roger Capps. He's absolutely amazing. How are you, Roger?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm glad to be here, Nina.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, you know, we're trying to get this Vegas all back again, because Vegas, you know, I've only lived in Vegas for 3 years, and I've noticed that a lot of the people in the music industry have kind of they're in the shadows. We don't really see them too much. And,
No, you don't.
And Vegas is the place for music. This is where it is.
I live in Los Angeles. There's more music here than there is in Los Angeles.
Well, because Vegas is known for music. It's known for its comedy. It's known for its singers. I mean, Frank
Sure,
Sinatra
sure.
and all the whole group.
All the big shows that used to be here.
It used to be here.
The Rat Pack.
The Rat Pack. Oh, that was amazing.
Those, yeah,
those were
that
the
was
big
the
shows.
best.
The reason I have Roger Capps on my show for the first, actually he's the first guest on the show, is because he was actually involved in the MTV. You were one of the first people on MTV to be interviewed, but you were to clarify something. He wasn't exactly the first person, but you want to clarify that because you're a guitarist, famous guitarist, right?
Yes, the way it worked was the show opened with the Muggles doing Video Kill the Radio Star. And that's their theme song. The first real act, not that the Muggles aren't a real act, was our band.
That was the name of the group, right?
The Muggles, yes.
The Muggles.
And they did Video Kill the Radio Star. And our band, Pat Benatar Band, we played You Better Run, and that was the first video on there. So statistically and perfectly, the first guitarist on MTV was Neil Giraldo. I was the second bassist, but if you look at it from my point of view,
You were the first.
with the
He was
platinum
the
records and the world tours, yes, I was the first bass player. We were the first band on MTV.
Just to bring you into perspective of who Roger Capps is, I mean, you've been very, very famous, and your name is still around, it's still out there, but obviously you've kind of wheedled down a little bit. Now, give us a little sort of insight of, you know, you had another woman that used to sing with you, Pat, and you've got a whole story going on.
Yes, before MTV, Pat Benatar and I have been working together since 1974 in Richmond, Virginia. And I sat in at a jam session one Sunday, and they called me the next Wednesday to come sit in again because their bass player disappeared. And I was packed, ready to go home to Knoxville, Tennessee. But I took the call and I said, of course, I'd be glad to come in and play. And by the end of the second set, I was hired permanently, and that's when we really started with Pat.
How old were you then?
Let's see, what time is it now? I think I was around 36 or so.
36, you're
Yeah.
a young kid.
Yeah, I'd a big chunk of life behind me, and I was good at what I did. I knew music very well, and I was a good bass player.
What was your top record that came out? You obviously had number ones. Did you have number ones?
No number one albums, but we had multi-platinum on all the records.
Multi-platinum, wow.
And that means each platinum means 1 million in sales. So we did well here, Canada, and in the whole European area.
I was going to say, what about Europe?
In Europe, we went on tour there 3 times and were very well received. But every time I think of Europe, I think of our first performance in London, where we played like we'd just been touring in America, and people are supposed to clap and scream at some point in the show.
The British probably didn't do
The British sat.
Well, we have to wait for our
Like that
turn.
was
You know,
very
we're
good.
very polite. We do.
And I thought we were bombing. And so finally, at the end, just before the encore, they went crazy. And it was explained to us that British courtesy.
Well, we don't clap
In a
until we're
public.
yeah, we're not supposed to clap until we're supposed to clap, and we all kind of wait. So
I wish I'd known that before.
I wish I'd been there to tell you what it was all about.
You know, we played another gig in Nice, and in that one, the record company in that part in France misadvertises as we had a song called Rated X. So Rated X singer Pat Benatar is performing at this place in Nice, and it was not good. The kids lined the front of the stage and they were making lewd gestures with their hands.
Guess what we're finding out from Roger is that going to Europe it was not a great experience. So you were probably very happy to come back to the United States.
Well, that show ended up audience being wiped out with guard dogs and machine guns. They emptied the whole show.
Sounds like
we
a
were
total
ready
disaster.
to go
Let's
home.
talk about something better than that. So, what has
yeah.
been your sort of your number one hits or the number one songs that you have actually done in America?
Hit Me With Your Best Shot is the most recognized song. It was, you know, a tough girl not taking any guff from the boyfriend. And a lot of Pat's songs are about things like that for a young woman to stand up for herself. And that became very popular.
That would have become very popular for women
Very
because,
popular.
you know, women have always been trying to get this message out that, you know, we're just as important as men.
But they're trying to tell guys.
Yeah, and guys don't want to know.
We don't have that. There's Love Is a Battlefield is my favorite bass line track of all we did. Beautiful song. And I'm really proud of that particular line.
Are we going to hear a little song? I see you got your guitar with you.
I'm going to make a little noise.
He's going to make a little noise for us.
This used to be a 4-string acoustic bass.
And you made it into an 8-string.
It's also electric. I decided I have fun on Facebook. So I took a drill and cut new holes.
How to build a guitar.
And did the whole thing in one day on Facebook. And everybody's commenting, it's going to take you 3 or 4 days. And this is just like I did it that day. And it... And it plays great. It plays just fine.
Going, keep going. I was just getting in the swing of it then.
The first song on MTV. That You Better Run by the Rascals.
Better run by the Rascals. Well, I'm not a singer. I've never
that was so close.
Was that close? Will I get a little close there?
We had several hits. We've gone up to 12 and 17 on the Billboard charts during the time I worked with Pat was from 1974 to 1984.
20 years you were together.
Yes.
That's amazing.
10 years we worked together.
That's amazing.
And they've always been very generous with me. They put my song on the flip side of all their 45s.
Now, is Pat still involved in, is she still out there or is she
She's touring every year. She told me that as long as people come to her shows, she will perform. And they still come. She sells out all the time. I got to see them 3 times this year. I got to sit in and play with them for the first time last year, July 23rd. And that was just a miracle, the best. And it was the first time I ever played Love Is the Battlefield live since the studio.
Wow.
So that was
exciting for you. So are you playing now or are you doing any gigs now?
I'm working on projects right now. There's a consortium of a few musicians. Greg Wright, I've been playing with him for 30 years. He was the lead guitarist on the Jacksons' Victory Tour. They hired him because he could play the Eddie Van Halen solo. And he toured with the Jacksons and worked with Michael for several years, I'd say probably 10 or 11, where he would go in and do studio tracks.
Oh, amazing.
On the drums, we have Matt Sorum, who's with Guns N' Roses.
Dropping all these big names out there, I'm telling you.
Well, the funny thing about Guns N' Roses is that we had gigs booked. We couldn't find Matt. He was gone, so we got another drummer. Greg and I, we had a trio. Come to find out, he took the gig for millions of dollars with Guns N' Roses. What are you going to do?
Well, he's going to go where the money is. And he's,
anyway, so we're getting back together.
Oh, you are? That's amazing.
Yes, we're getting that back together. We're working on a tour next year. And depending on Greg's schedule, my schedule, and Matt's schedule, when can we get together at the same time?
It's a matter of trying to get you all together. Is that really hard to do? Because I would have thought it wouldn't be hard. I would have thought you would have all been excited to come back together.
If you don't have a job, we're very excited.
Yeah, but
if you don't have a job, it's easy to get together.
But they all have jobs.
But now we've all come up a bit.
Yeah.
And in demand. So that makes
Well,
it
that's a
tougher.
good thing. That's a good thing. Now,
Oh,
I
yeah.
noticed that today, earlier, we were talking to a gentleman called Aaron.
Oh, my friend Aaron
No,
Jack.
Aaron Jack.
Let me tell you about Catch a Rising Star in New York City. When I
Well,
went
I
to
want to
New
bring
York,
him on. He's floating around the studio here somewhere. I don't know where Aaron is. I mean, if he's... Where is Aaron? Aaron,
Yes,
are you going
Aaron.
to come on in?
Yes, come
on.
in.
I have to let you know this show, Vegas Live, is like one of these shows that we kind of bring people in and say, here he comes. Here he comes. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
How are you, Aaron?
Aaron
I was,
Ninon.
nice to meet you. And we were talking about earlier, and you were a singer in the Catskills and New York and all over the place. And
I'm
so,
still doing studio stuff now.
just doing studio stuff
yeah.
now.
I've played 200 times.
Really?
Yeah. Well, we would do a show every night at Catch a Rising Star, who was Pat's manager at the time. And they have singers because you'd have 2 or 3 comedians and then break it up with some music.
Of course.
2 or 3
Of
comedians.
course.
And so we got to play every night.
So you got to play.
And
You
he
got to
usually
sing.
opened
I
the
love
show.
to sing it. You know, it was strange because on Saturday night shows, there was 2 singers and the rest were comics. I opened the show and another man closed the show with music. It was basically
That's
a
on the
comedy-
weekend, yeah, it was
it's
different.
basically a comedy club, Catch a Rising Star.
Yes.
But you know, they pick certain people that they
Normally
like.
they have the comedy first and then the singers.
No, they don't do
When
that.
when the
Yeah.
singer's somebody famous and that's the star act,
Yeah.
they'll open.
Yeah,
You know,
with
like
the
Buddy
comedy.
Hackett used to do
Oh yeah,
for.
Buddy. I bet Buddy had
Right.
all of those. So
But-
are you
but it
singing
can't.
now, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm singing. I'm doing studio stuff now. I'm doing my studio work. And I'm not singing as much as I used to sing. I'm just-
Well, you said you relaxed for a couple of years and
Yeah,
you sort of
yeah.
went out of it and everything else.
I just told him out in the car that I'm giving him my resources because I'm coming to Vegas more frequently. And I've got just the right guys, and we're going to put a show together for Aaron. And when Aaron does his show, there's so much energy, the audience is on its feet.
You bring up
every
the
time.
energy and everything.
Well, yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yes, but
Don't worry,
with
he's
the
still
memories
got
we
it.
have there,
He's still got it.
we have untapped energy, and when this gets together, it's going to be fantastic.
When there's chemistry.
So you just said something really great. You just said you're coming to Vegas more, which means you're bringing the music industry more. You're not doing it in Los Angeles, you're going to be doing it here, which is what we want. We
Yes,
want to bring
yes.
the music industry back out in Vegas because that's really where it belongs. There's so many, and there's also so many people you can choose from. Do you have a lot of people that are sort of here in Vegas that you can choose from as of getting
Yes,
the
I
band
do.
together?
Yes, I do. There's several people to choose from here, and some I haven't even met yet. Vegas understands having live music and having that band's following. Los Angeles forgot that somewhere back toward the end of
Los
the
Angeles is
80s.
more of the film business. Los Angeles is more in the film and
They
more
like
the
to think
entertainment.
so,
and that,
don't
yeah.
they?
Oh, you like to think so. It is.
Hollywood.
I like
Hollywood,
movies.
sure. Hollywood is film.
Hollywood is film, where Vegas is music, and I think you
I
live
agree.
here, right?
I live here now, yeah.
Now you do. So, but you really actually from back east. You're from
Way from back east.
way
Brooklyn,
back.
Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, Brooklyn. Oh, I love New York. Love New York.
Right, right.
But that's where they have all the the famous nightclubs and everything.
What was
there
that
and
beach
everything.
you said you would go to, and the music that came from that area? There was a lot of doo-wop. That's why the East Coast.
Yeah, there was
Brighton
a lot-
Beach, was it?
Brighton Beach, day
Brighton.
one.
Oh,
day one.
Brighton Beach.
It was they had a bunch of artists there that came famous and then they were gone. It was.
They came and went rather fast.
Rather fast.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Well,
Big
no,
turnover. Well, that's like, it's still today the same thing. They say they have a big turnover. You come in, you see them one time, and then they go out. On that, we're going to take a break. I'm Ninon from Vegas Live, and of course, we've had a fabulous time with Aaron and a great time with Roger. We found out a little bit of what went back in those days, but they're now going to bring it back to Vegas. We'll be right back.
Well, I hope.
Welcome back to Vegas Live. Let me try that again. Sorry. Welcome back to Vegas Live. I'm Ninon, your host, and we're having a fabulous time. We're actually down at Peppermill, and this is where we're going to be shooting our show, which is absolutely fabulous because we are actually sitting in the Elvis Presley booth, apparently. And so he may have sat right here, so how lucky am I? The unfortunate thing, I never did see his show, and I always wanted to see his show, so anyway, but we are in his booth. I have with me Tim Zimmerman. How are you, Tim?
I am great, thank you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's great to be here in the Peppermill. Back in the day, I actually came here some 30 years ago. So
I know, we're all kind of dating ourselves when we talk about the Peppermill, because the Peppermill's been here for years, and I think everybody's sort of gone in and out of this place. Even today, you've got the young ones coming in, the old ones, and all of them. They all come into the Peppermill, so it's very, very well known, and I love it down here. It's like,
it's
it's
always
like
a
old
fun
Vegas.
place.
It's like old Vegas. It's fabulous, and that's why we're doing this show. We're doing this show. Obviously, it's all about the music industry, the entertainment business. It's all about Vegas, the old, the new, and the beginning, the starters, and it's a great place for the obviously the music industry, but it's a great place to sort of bring yourself out and to start this business and everything. But you are doing something totally different. This gentleman is actually not in the music business. Explain a little bit about what you do.
I'm a personal growth and development trainer. Some people would call me a motivational speaker. I'm a best-selling author, but I consider myself a trainer, because most of the supposed training or inspirational talk today is really just that. It's talk and talk.
And you know, this kind of bothers me because we go through life and we go to school, and then we go to college and we graduate, and now we've got to be retrained, and it's like there's so many programs out there, everybody being retrained, and I'm looking at thinking, why are we all being retrained? Retrained to get in touch with ourselves more, to find out who we are, or?
Well, it depends what the retraining is for. In many cases, like corporate training, that's really where I got my start, was in the Dale Carnegie courses. I was trained to teach all 5 of the Dale Carnegie courses, and they're really world renowned for the Fortune 500 companies. So sales, management, human relations and leadership, public speaking.
Okay, so when you come into a company and you get this job, so now you have to be trained to kind of do this job.
Right.
And that's what you do.
Right. Depending upon what it is.
So, well, wait a second. How did they get the job in the first place if they don't know how to do it?
Well, what I talk about is that if there were a way to increase your effectiveness 10 or 20 or 30% in everything that you do every day,
yes,
as far as communications, selling yourself, selling your ideas, executive abilities, planning, organizing, delegating, controlling, creative thinking, if you could do better in each of those areas, what would that mean to you?
Well, you could go up the ladder better, you know your job better, you can teach it better, you can help the company better. Right. So it does a whole bunch of things, and that's what you teach them.
Right, it actually increases the company's productivity, profitability,
rather than pushing papers around, they're
and
actually
teamwork.
doing something.
Right, right. They're actually being more productive.
More productive into what they're doing, which is a great. Now, which is wonderful. But what brings you to Vegas for this? Because Vegas is not really a corporate place. It's not really a place where a lot of there's more of the music industry.
Well, there's a lot of corporate stuff. I specialize. I was in mortgage banking for 25 years. So the reason why I was always successful in mortgage banking is I would go to a real estate broker and I'd say, "This is my background in the Dale Carnegie courses. I'll do some free training for you. I'll get to know you. You'll get to know me, and then
it's like a barter thing going on.
As we increase your business, I expect that business for my mortgage business, and that's why I was always successful in that. What I've found now is that part of what I've done and what most people do when they're on the corporate ladder or the positive mental attitude treadmill, so to speak, is in looking at all of that for 40 years, I found that there's a particular way to go into your childhood negative belief systems and negative judgments.
We're going back to the 5-year-old, and we're going back to the first 5 years of your life. This comes up all the time, and everybody says to me, the first 5 years of your life is going to create the rest of your life.
Exactly. And the reason why that is that that belief system is implanted in you. So and actually psychiatrists say up to 6 and 7 years, it's actually implanted from you. From who? From your parents and those people around you as you're growing. But after that 6th year, once you start getting into grammar school, you start making negative judgments about yourself, like not being good enough, not being smart enough, not being whatever enough.
I'm going to interrupt you on that, because the reason why we get that is because parents, and they don't do this deliberately, no, but it's forever saying, no, you can't do this, no, you can't have this, no, you can't, wait, stop. It's always these very negative things that seem to bounce into this child for the first 5 years.
Right. Do you know how many times a child actually hears no in their
I would hate to
each
think.
year? You know, I said, well, maybe 10,000 times. It's 220,000 times per year a child hears neurons, okay? Which is incredible. But what happens is that belief system and then the judgments we make about ourselves, those internal self-judgments up till 19 is what runs our life. So what's interesting to me, and this just came out in the last couple of years as far as a protocol that I've developed, is that when we look at our programming, well, who programmed us? Our parents, right? And how
we
old?
have to say that parents or the guardian or whoever brought us up, because there's different people that bring us up
Right.
sometimes, but
Right.
whoever for the first 5 years
Right.
brought us up.
Right, but how old were they when they were programmed?
Well, I presume they were also 5.
They were 5, 6 years old, right?
Because we all have
And
that
who
kind
programmed
of
them, though?
Their parents too. So
And they were 5 or 6 years old. So everyone from Adam and Eve, or Noah, whichever you believe, down to now, everyone's been programmed by this 6-year-old program, and we wonder why everyone acts like children.
I have to say something because I think I broke the code.
Yes,
I think
we talked about that.
I think I broke the
and
code
that was
because
very interesting.
I have never related back to that time, and I'm trying to think of what it was and if I was but I can't remember my parents ever doing that. I think I was a happy child anyway, but I don't remember having any of that sort of negative stuff. I don't quite remember that, so maybe I got lucky. Maybe some kids out there can get lucky. I don't know.
In many cases, what happens, you know, there's multimillionaires, for instance. You know, what's driving them? You know, some people say that it's greed or whatever, but
the first
really,
5 years.
it's the feeling that they're not good enough, or they're not smart enough, or they're not doing enough that keeps them on the $1 million.
They keep trying and trying and trying to, even though they've got everything they need, or probably more than abundance of what they need, they're trying for more.
Right, and the reason is because your negative judgment about yourself, that not being good enough or not being lovable, whichever that is,
Keeps zooming up.
well, what happens is that you internally act the opposite to try and overcome that, but you can never overcome that. I call it the millionaire syndrome or the celebrity syndrome, in that you have everything and you're still not satisfied.
So are you saying that the majority of people in this world are really kind of not satisfied?
Oh, yes.
That's sad out there. The majority of people aren't satisfied. And my greatest saying, if I die right now, I would die the happiest woman in the entire world. I have literally had everything. But I don't know if I've appreciated the things that weren't good. I think I may have appreciated that as well from learning from that.
Right, because that made you who you are.
Yeah, from me it's always been, if I make a mistake, wow, oh dear. Well, it's not really a mistake, I can learn from that.
Right.
So I've always put it into a different category as of not a mistake, and not doing something wrong, but of learning by it. So is this what you're teaching?
Well,
or trying to teach?
Well, what happened, I mean, that happens for you. In many cases, it's unconscious, subconscious. So people would have a mistake, but then they would have a negative self-talk about the mistake to themselves. You're stupid, you're an idiot, you're never going to get anywhere. So they're hearing their parents or their siblings or whoever brought them up in this self-talk. And how do we create? We create through our thoughts, the words that we speak to ourselves and to others, the beliefs that we have, then the decisions we make and the actions we take. I call that the 5 laws of manifestation. But the main thing is that with beliefs, you know, everyone's, like Jesus said, as you believe in your heart, it is done unto you, right? Well, where do your thoughts come from? Your thoughts actually come from your unconscious, subconscious beliefs. Everything is filtered from that. Everything that you see in your life is filtered from it. So my thing is that if your life isn't working, or you're on that treadmill, well, this is the key. As I've looked for 40 years.
Give me a key that we're going to have to break.
I've looked for 40 years. The key is to be able to go into the unconscious, subconscious, and actually neutralize and eliminate those beliefs and those negative self-judgments, and then add the positive. Because if you have a computer program and the D drive is corrupted, it doesn't matter how much positive stuff you put on top of it, it's still going to give you corrupted information.
Okay.
Well, we're actually creating from our own D drive, our belief system and judgments, and it's not until we can go in and change that everything changes. And it's amazing to my clients that, you know, they can't understand why it happens so quickly.
So the reason I had Tim on the show is because all the music people out there, if you watch this and listen to it and see what he has just said, is trying to don't ever go into that negative mode of not being good enough. You are all good enough out there, but you're all in different degrees. So don't go and put yourself up here somewhere when you're sort of struggling down here. Try to move forward and think of the positive side of it. Think of how, well, I've come from here and I'm now here and I'm now here. And just because you're not as good as that person up there, doesn't mean to say you're not.
Well, what happens is that the people strive to be better,
Of course.
to do more, have more, be more. But it's just like with Robin Williams or other celebrities, they have everything, but yet they're not satisfied. So what I do is go into with you to your subconscious, unconscious, and help eliminate it there. Because unless it's eliminated there, nothing's going to happen. It's just like the UBS study with multimillionaires, 2,200 multimillionaires. They said, what would make you satisfied? 67% said double their holdings.
Double that. And they've probably got enough already.
Yeah, if they had 2 million, they needed 4 million. If they had 20 million, they needed 40 million.
Absolutely.
To me, that's the key, is that they feel that they're not good enough, or they don't have enough, or they're not smart enough, or they haven't done enough. And here, they're miserable, everybody around them are miserable, and they're still not satisfied.
We're still not satisfied. On that, we've got to take a break, and we're going to be right back. This is Vegas Live. I had a fabulous time with Tim Zimmerman. You've been amazing. A little bit of the inside of who you are, what you are. Check yourself out and feel good about yourself. Believe me, you're all beautiful out there. We'll be right back. Very good. Excellent. That's funny. You are funny.
Now, did you want somebody to join you through
no.
the conversation? Okay. Okay.
The last one's going to be Lenny and the girl.
Okay, not a problem. You want to run this one longer?
You got 4 minutes left over from the last one.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
So do you want to put that?
So you can go 19 if you like.
What? 19? I'm good. I'm excited.
Okay, all right.
I got to talk for 19 minutes?
Okay, you guys ready?
Something.
We go in 3, 2.
Which camera? Okay.
Okay. Ninon's interview in 3, 2.
Welcome back to Vegas Live. I'm Ninon, your host, and we're actually down at the Peppermill shooting this, and this is amazing. This is our new studio. How amazing, Vegas Live at the Peppermill. It's absolutely wonderful down here. The reason we are here is because we're bringing Vegas back. Trying to get back all these sort of, all the film people, which is like, I have John here, John Seymour with me, and he's absolutely amazing. He's in the film business, and he's bringing filming into Vegas. Not that we don't have it, but we want to make it bigger, but also the music business. I'm trying to bring in the music business. I'm trying to bring back in the film business. I'm trying to get people to understand that we do have a Vegas. We all are out here working, and we all sort of, need to be out there. We need to be known who we are. John Seymour, you haven't been here very long though, have you? Been
No, I moved here
a couple of months or so?
Yeah, March.
March. You've only been here since March. And you quite like it.
I do love it.
You love it. Oh, isn't
Yeah.
that nice? He loves Vegas. I love it when people say, yes, I love Vegas. That's
It's been
absolute.
great.
It's been good to you so far.
Yeah.
And you've been doing lots of, actually I'm going to brag a little bit. Weren't you up for an Emmy? A long time ago. Every time I mentioned the Emmy, he was up for it. He says, let's not talk about that. But that's typical. That is typical what we are like. So now, you've got a break right now because you just finished, I don't know, it was 3 or 4 movies or something?
We did 2 TV pilots, 3 TV pilots, and
3
and a
TV
short film.
pilots. And you did that actually in Los Angeles and here?
Both. I did. We actually did 18 episodes of a web series here that we're pitching for television now.
Okay. What is the web series? What exactly is this particular program called the web series? Because it sounds everyone's got a website.
Right.
What is it?
This particular one is called The Weed Detective.
Okay.
It's about a MIT graduate who gets a felony drug conviction for possession of marijuana. And so he's having trouble getting a real job, so he helps stoners find things that they hide from themselves.
I was going to say, how can you hide something? Have you been involved in drugs and things like that, and you've been actually caught and everything else?
Yeah.
Then it's going to be very hard to hide that.
Well, it's things they hide from themselves while they're high. Like they a lot of times hide their weed from themselves.
Oh,
Yeah.
they hide that
so they won't lose it. Then they put it somewhere where they can't find
When
it.
they can't find it, so then they're going to spend all the time trying to find it.
So they call the weed detective. He comes over.
So
and
the
figures
weed
it out.
detective, you spell it out, is it a dog or what is it?
He uses
Could be a
string
dog.
theory. He uses string theory.
Oh.
Yeah, so he has a degree in string theory.
So that's so. And have you sold this yet, or is it still in the, as we call it, in the can, meaning
It's in the can.
It's in the can. Can means that it hasn't gone anywhere quite yet, but it's ready to go.
No, it's not even ready to go yet.
Oh, it's not even ready
It's
to
all
go.
filmed. They're doing the editing on it right now. There's a trailer cut. We're leaving for the American Film Market on Friday, and we'll take it with us there and see what we can do with it.
So then you'll take it to the film cut, and then that's where you present
Yeah,
the
we'll
promo.
present
What's
it
it called? The promo. What would it be? A half-hour one or an hour one?
Oh, it's 3 minutes.
Oh, 3 minutes. So it's
Yeah.
3 minutes, like a 3-minute promo of what it's going to be all about.
Right.
But you're actually going to have 13 episodes.
18.
18 episodes. Isn't it normally 13? It doesn't matter. So they go a little more. Things change. Things change.
Television would typically be 13, but
Yeah.
web series were a little more flexible. So.
And web series means that you're going to go on the internet.
That's the original plan. Yeah. Those first 18 episodes will come online.
Interesting. So as we all know, the internet's been out a long time, and television is going further back, and internet is coming more into the focus. Is that why you did that? More audience for what this program is?
Yeah, this program, was when we first started doing it, because of the subject matter, we thought this was the internet would be a great place to start it. Potentially it could be a television show, but I think the audience that we're
Relates more to the internet.
yeah, our audience is more on these.
Is that because I was going to say? Is that because of the younger? The younger people are on the internet, and that's where they're at. They don't very rarely now do they watch television.
I don't watch television, so yeah.
And he's in the younger.
Yeah. I'd like to think so.
Well, he is. Definitely. I can assure you, you are.
All right, that sounds good.
So that was just one you did. So now
Yeah.
you've got. Now what's the other one you've done?
We shot while we were shooting that. We shot a teaser for a television show called Blackout.
Blackout. Now they have one in New York, didn't they?
Yes. Years ago.
Yeah, that was some time ago.
Yeah. This is about a detective who helps people. He's a former drug dealer, and he wants to go straight. He's recently gotten married, and he and his wife want to adopt a child, so he's going to go straight, and decides to become a detective.
So he wants to go straight. So you didn't like it? Because if he's not straight, he can't get a child?
I can't. Well, yeah. So they're trying to adopt.
That's what, so they have guidelines,
Yeah,
which they're
so
probably
he's-
going to finish soon. They're not going to have as many guidelines with this
Right.
day and age going on. Everything's changing. But
Right.
it says, that's pretty cool. And where's this shot out of?
This is shot out of Vegas. Yeah.
Out of Vegas. And why did you shoot it? Why did you decide to shoot it out of Vegas? Is this where you have more of an entree of what you visualize, what you want to do?
We originally were planning to shoot in LA, and when I moved to Vegas in March, I called the producers and told them that I wanted to shoot it here, and we looked at it, decided it was a better fit.
It was a better fit for what you wanted, for your
what we were
vision.
trying to do.
Your
Right.
vision. And when you come up with these ideas, there's a lot of people out there, young people out there, that want to create and they have a vision and everything. How you did this, and you're obviously doing it. You're in the film business, but you were not in the film business, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
You were in another business. We'll get into that later. But how does somebody, actually get into what you're doing, or how would they sort of, you've got the vision, you've started it, and you've gone for it. What do they do?
You mean as far as like writing?
Writing it and putting it together and being in Vegas.
Big
Big
That's
answer.
a great question. Yeah, if you've written something, the best advice I can give you probably on that is, try to look around for local production companies. We have a little small startup kind of division to our company for small projects like that. And, just try to get together with a production company, and a lot of times it's bartering, like we'll help them work on a few projects.
So if you had somebody come to you and they've got this vision and they want to do it, they could come and help you, and then you will give them the time to do what they need to do and help them on what those. You said you've got a small department, which means if he says you've got a small department for that, it means you've got a big department for film. See more
do
films.
big. Yeah, we want to do big films.
Yeah, they're going to the big film business.
Yeah.
You really like that. Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've got two of them. What's the third one?
We shot a short film in LA called The Suicide Flowers.
Does he talk about dead flowers?
It's
Dead
about
flowers that want to kill themselves?
Yeah, not quite.
Okay, you explain it better. He's explained it better than I can.
It's
Cocktails, please, cocktails.
That's okay.
Cocktail?
Yes, please.
City of. No, the Suicide Flowers is about an aging rock star and one of his biggest fans who is dying from leukemia. And basically, without letting the cat out of the bag, it's their story about how they come together.
Yes.
They have a kind of special connection that I won't get into right now.
Oh, okay.
And the purpose of it is they're trying to sell the feature film.
Yes. I was just listening. I think Lenny Windsor is talking out there. He's going to be on our next guest. So that's fat. Now, how far is that? Is that?
That's being edited
Is that
right
in the
now.
can as well?
Yeah,
All these are in the can, as I said. I explained what the can is,
Yeah,
but they're all getting ready. So you're going to
Very
have
frazzled editor right now. There's like 4 projects on her desk. Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I used to edit. I'm a very good editor, so don't count on me. No. When it comes to editing your film. But yeah, editing is, and that, it's funny because editing is very, very crucial
Right.
within a film or anything you do out there that you put out there. The editing is very, the filming, the sound and the editing, they're all very, very important
Right.
parts of making the people within what you're trying to achieve look good.
Right.
With the sound and everything.
Directing is easy. It's editing, acting and editing.
Yeah, acting and editing.
That's where it all is.
Let's go back a little bit. Now, you were not in the film business. You were living in, where was it, Boston or something?
North of Boston. I was in Portland, Maine.
Portland, Maine. And what were you doing there?
The last thing I did there was I had a marketing company.
Marketing to filming. What made you go in the film business?
I was running a marketing company and I started doing work for a film company. And they kept trying to get me to come to work for them. Eventually they...
You gave in.
Eventually I gave in.
Okay, you can have me.
Yeah,
You can
I'll do
have
it.
me. But you
When
probably
I got thrown in. Yeah.
And you got thrown into it, but you probably subconsciously you quite liked it.
I've always been a big fan of film, so it was kind of a dream come true. Yeah.
Now,
it's
do
kinda
you
fun.
find the challenge? Is it a big challenge out there? Because I know that trying to get the financing and getting the correct actors and there's a lot involved in making a film. It's not, you just don't see the film on the screen. There's a lot involved in it, and you're the director, which means that you have to put a lot of energy and stuff in that.
Right.
How's it going?
I've only been directing now for about 2 years. Before that, I was in producing and casting. I still do both of those, but I think it helped to start out like that. I have a lot more sense of what the big picture is. Like I said, directing is the fun part. That's the easy part. It's, you get the right people in place, the right cast, the right crew, the right script, and
I'm going around Vegas and I'm seeing what people want. You've got a big younger generation coming to Vegas now. Do you actually visualize and see what you can create through them and watching what they're doing and what they want and try to sort of work around so you build them into what you're going to direct and do?
I like to think so. And we get so busy sometimes, you get kind of tunnel vision and working on so many
more people come
things.
to see a film, and you get more people out there. So if you watch what people are doing and what they want and how they want it,
right.
Then you can think, well, wait a second, they really don't want the idea I have over here, but I like what they have over here and their idea.
Right. So yeah, I think the product that we put out definitely is a reflection of what people want to see.
That's the reflection. That's the word I was trying to find. The reflection of what they want.
They're not art projects that are like, oh, I've always wanted to make this film and I'm going to make it. Is this the right film for us to be making right
That's what I'm trying to get at. Are you trying to, because it's all very well what you just said, and a lot of people out there, you have your script, you don't want to change it, you have an idea of a film, you don't want to change it, and you have all these great ideas which are absolutely fabulous that you love, but then it's produced and out there and it goes nowhere, and 250,000 or 2 million or whatever it later.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of films, projects fall just because people wouldn't bend.
They wouldn't say.
And you fight that artistic freedom and vision versus, realistic expectations and what you're going to be able to actually accomplish for the budget that you have, and you just have to kind of bend and twist and make it work. And that's
sometimes
kind of what we've done.
I want to get back to the budget side of it because I know that trying to. See, talk about the budget side. Budget side is tough. raising money for a film, it's always been very, very hard. And I also know that a lot of the banks, well, you know, if you get 50% in, they'll give you the other 50% or whatever the case may be. Some banks will work that way. Or, you know, you bring in $1 million out, the banks will match $1 million for you.
You can find a bank that's unlocked at night. That's a good one.
Oh, guess what? Guess where I am tonight.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
It's tough. So financing, the financial side of it is very, very tough.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of good projects out there, and there's a lot of great filmmakers, and, you know, with great
They're
ideas.
still looking for financing.
That need financing. Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a couple of minutes left now. What have you got on the board now? I know you're not going to do anything till next year.
Well, I wasn't.
Uh-oh, he told me he's not going to do anything till next year. Now he's changed his mind.
Yeah, it's tough.
This is typical director-producers. They can't lie low. They can't. I'm going to cut out.
Hey, I didn't do anything for like 5 days.
5-day break.
It was nerve-wracking.
What is it?
We're working on a couple little projects. We just the person who shot Weed Detective, the cinematographer, and I are working on a little project called Vegas Thing.
Vegas Thing. So that's into Vegas, which is what we want.
Yeah, it's a
That's what we need to Vegas.
1974 Volkswagen Thing. You know, no top, no front windshield, and pick up people on the strip and
just having a ball.
Just having a ball.
And having, you know, that's one great thing about Vegas. You know, Vegas 24 hours a day.
It's crazy.
It truly is. I've lived here 3 years now, and I can do anything 24 hours a day. I don't. I do sleep at night. Well, sometimes. It all depends. But you can do anything you want out there.
Yeah.
And
It's fantastic.
Is this what you like?
I can go bowling at 4 a.m. It's amazing.
Go bowling. Imagine bowling at 4 a.m.
It's fun.
That's fun. I would imagine that I haven't done yet. But I
Try
have
it.
to admit though, when I get up at 4 o'clock, sometimes I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's like I feel it's okay. Because everybody else is kind of up. You know, all the casinos are, and it seems to give something to your mind that it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It's perfectly normal.
It's okay.
So you're absolutely loving it.
Yeah, it's just a great time.
Well, we've been interviewing, obviously, John Seymour. He's absolutely amazing. He has his own film company, which is called Seymour Films. And you're doing very well out here. He's a fabulous guest, and he loves Vegas, and he's bringing people and bringing actors out to actually be able to work. And that's a beautiful thing, because that's what they want here. On that, we're going to take a break. This is Ninon from Vegas Live. We'll be right back.
It was a show, not like it. Just a minute, woman. Yeah, but Michael Parkin's.
All right, you ready?
3 times that. Lucky you.
Ready.
Yeah. I'm just getting now.
This one?
It's on. Okay. All right, here we go.
Are my legs all right? Everything all right?
You look good, Mama.
You look good?
Better, babe.
You're beautiful. Okay, Ninon's interview in 3, 2.
Welcome back to Vegas Live. I'm Ninon, your host, and this we are down at the Peppermill, which is of course one of the incredible places that have been here since I don't know when. Many years in Las Vegas Boulevard. Absolutely amazing. This is actually our headquarters for filming. We're going to be filming here every single week at the Peppermill, so it's absolutely amazing. Now with me, I have Larry Windsor.
Lenny.
No, I call him Larry.
No, I want to be called Lenny today.
No,
for God's sake.
All right, let's call him Lenny Windsor.
Please, or Mr. Windsor, or your
He doesn't-
Excellency.
See, I had to get him going on this, and that's why I call him
Or your
Larry.
Excellency. I'm quite partial to the Almighty One, and if you really are my good books, the Messiah.
Now, as you can tell, he's not short of words. He's
Correct.
always out there.
Correct.
Hey, Lenny, how are you?
I'm good, my baby.
What about Larry?
No, Larry, I don't like. That was when I was a pimp.
Oh!
It's great to be here with you. You know it is.
I know.
I've only been in Las Vegas this trip for 3 weeks, but I'm here for 6 months.
Yeah. Lenny is here for 6 months. Now let's go back a little bit. Lenny and I both come from the same town in Torquay.
In Devon, in England.
In Devon, in England. And I don't know how, but he's landed up in Vegas, and so have I. We really never knew each other, and the only way I got to know him was through my brother, because my brother and Lenny were both in business together.
We were indeed, yes.
And then sort of, and my brother said, you know, he's going to come out to Vegas, and that was like about 3 years ago, and that's when I first met Lenny.
We were both here 3 years. You started
I
here.
think you started too when.
Exactly, 3 years ago.
Time.
Yeah.
And so now we've ended up, and I had to have him on my interview, my first show on Vegas Live, because he's kind of, you know, he's part of the team, sort of.
Family,
also,
dear.
what on earth are we both doing in Vegas?
Well, I'm on the witness protection program.
Me.
I am wanted in many countries. And,
really? So you're undercover here?
Well, if you can be.
I wouldn't say that. You see his name up everywhere. You're all over the place.
I am. I'm doing Planet Hollywood. Most of my trips, my shows here this next 6 months will be at Planet Hollywood at Sin City Comedy. It is
nothing like typical English. He has to advertise everything.
No, I didn't want to do that. Sin City Comedy.
Of course, he didn't want to do that.
Planet Hollywood, and that's where Britney Spears is trying to sing.
Oh, have you had a date? Hey, wait a second. Have you had a date with her yet?
No, but she'll come on to me because I'm pretty hot.
Pretty hot.
I'm pretty hot.
He is very hot. He's all hot.
Hot, baby.
Hot Windsor.
Yesterday I was doing a television. You must have seen it.
Well, here we go again. You see, Brad.
It was what was that? Valley View, Channel 13.
Valley View, Channel 13. You were on that.
They were great girls and a great staff. The girls really.
Notice how he always mentions the girls.
They hit on me, you know, all the time.
Like he doesn't hit on them. Hello.
Excuse me.
Yes, hello.
I'm a happy. Listen, my age. Come on. I mean, I'm not a child anymore. 69
yes,
I'm 69 years old. 13 on Facebook.
Underage on Facebook. Hello.
Absolutely. Yes. How can I not date? Listen, great to be here. I love this restaurant.
Isn't it amazing?
Yes, it is.
It is amazing. And this is what we're going to be filming, you know, every week we're going to do our show, Vegas Live now. And it's just amazing because this is like, and I was saying before at the beginning of the show, this is actually Elvis Presley's booth. This is where Elvis Presley used to sit and be, and when he came into the restaurant, he would come and
do you know, I felt his presence.
Do you want to start playing and singing?
No, I just want to sleep with him if he was here now. I'm odd.
To each his own.
I'm really odd. But I felt a presence here. Well, as I walked here, I went just like. Did you see that?
Yes, I saw that. And all right, and then you started to move. You know, you started to shake.
No, I was just moving in.
Oh, that was just you walking, right?
I was just walking. I shake a lot. Now,
since you've been in Vegas, he arrived in Vegas about 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
And you've done extremely well.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
Now, what makes you, you know, you are an older person, and you've come into Vegas. It's a very young city, and you're doing extremely well with your comedy.
Yes.
And where do you and how do you get this sort of energy to want to come to Vegas and do this?
Well, I suppose I'm planning to die soon.
Oh,
so,
well, I wasn't planning on that answer.
So I'm getting up there. I just want to do something I want to do.
To come here, and but you're actually beating everybody else out.
Of course I am.
You're getting all these.
Yes, but I am talented. There's a big difference, you know.
Well, then when he says he's talented, I'm going to brag about his talent.
When a comic gets up on stage and he's got filthy, dirty jeans on and a grummy old shirt, and he wants to use the F word 50 times. That isn't talent, and that's every comedy club in this town.
So what does he do? He puts his suit on, the typical Englishman. He has his suit on, he makes himself. I have to brag a little bit. He actually wrote for the Benny Hill. You wrote for the Benny Hill show for 7 years?
7.5 years. It was great. It was a great part of my life, but it wasn't the most important part of my life.
Why?
The most important part of my life was being here with you.
Oh, isn't that still? Well, he does know the right thing to say.
I know. I'm trying to get late. So basically, I'm an English gentleman. My brand is the suit, and being an English gentleman, because I really am. I like pulling the chairs out for the ladies and opening a car door. I like that.
Us
I
ladies
do.
love that. That's why he has so many. Well, you don't have dates, because
No, I get fans. I have fans.
lots of fans.
Yes, yes, I've got fans, that's all. I'm harmless, really. Although I've been talking to the dancer, Sue.
Oh, Sue, well, I've got to get. Where is Sue, by the
She's
way?
beautiful.
Where is she?
She's-
Sue, where are you? Come on, Sue.
She's stunning.
This is ironic. We've got a girl her named Sue. I believe her name is Sue White. Typical Vegas.
Do you want me to move?
Come, no. Do we have? Can you get her in shot? Is she in shot and everything?
Can you
fine?
squeeze into me?
Squeeze.
Please.
We'll have to all squeeze in together. Are we okay?
You're
Wonderful. Now, now this is totally ironic. We've got Lenny from Torquay. I'm from Torquay. Sue is from Plymouth, which is about 25 miles from Torquay. I never knew any of this. And all of a sudden we've got these 3 English people on our show. Now you used to be a showgirl dancer, and you did that for, you said, 30 years.
Yes, I was a principal in a lot of shows.
You were she was a principal in a lot of shows. So what were the what was the first show you did?
Jubilee.
Jubilee.
Yes.
You mean Jubilee's been around 30 years?
Longer.
Longer. And you were the prime dancer of Jubilee.
There was 3 principals. I was one of them.
And you were one of them. What makes you a principal?
Better than everybody else.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. There's only an English person could say that.
But actually, I'm in the witness protection program too, so you can call me Brandy Black. That's
Brandy Black.
Brandy Black. Yes,
I was hoping Trixie.
no, that's my dog's name.
Oh, right. But you gave me your card and it said 1-800-SPANK-ME. That was interesting. I mean, I want
I
to call
told you,
you.
keep it clean.
I want to get...
Wait a second, he's going off board a little bit.
Can't be any cleaner than that.
Well, I don't know.
She's beautiful.
Isn't she lovely? When I met her, the reason I wanted her on was because you've been doing it for 30 years, and there is a time when you have to come out. Either you're too old, or you're getting too tired. You do not look too old. You've kept your body, and you look amazing. But now
Are you talking to me now?
Of course I'm talking to you.
Fine,
This is all
fine.
about Lenny. by the
Just,
way.
yeah, everything's
It's all
about
for
me.
Lenny. Yes. We'll deal with him later.
No, you're right. She is gorgeous.
But she is absolutely beautiful. But you're in this sort of makeup beauty thing now, and you were telling me that a lot of girls that have been dancers and everything are all doing the same thing.
Yeah, well, it's so easy for us.
What makes it easy?
Well, if you have to put show drag on for 30 years, a lot of
Show drag is makeup and
Really heavy.
But the garment department is not much, so that's rather flimsy, isn't it?
But it's actually really heavy,
Yes.
heavy metal. It's very heavy. Some of our costumes were 60 pounds.
60 pounds. You have to dance with those.
Yes.
Wow. So
Yeah.
it's not as easy as you think it is out there.
No, I
is
have a
it?
$300,000 plate in my neck because of the headdresses.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
see? Nothing's easy, is it?
Yeah, big plate.
Does it sound off at airports?
No, but there's 3 cadavers living inside my body, and we're all getting along fabulously right now. So. I'm good.
Yeah.
Only
you are.
from a showgirl. Only from a showgirl.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, he wants to take my job over?
No.
way. Yes, of course you can ask a
No, I
question.
don't.
I'm
I've
teasing
been on
you.
all of your shows.
I know.
No, I just. I mean,
Ask a question. Go
yeah,
ahead.
can
As long as it's a good one.
well, it is a good one.
Well, go through me first.
No. Listen, you know me. I'm safe.
I'm getting a little worried now.
Were you a topless dancer?
Yes.
Were you?
Yes.
Look how surprised he is.
Oh, I think it's lovely.
You have to be a principal.
Yes.
You have to be able to go topless. What is that? It's nothing.
Well,
can-
come on, the
can I
south
be-
of France. You can't go topless.
No, but can I be the best judge of
wants-
that?
I'll tell
Go on, show me. What? What? God's
It's
sake.
already all over her. What can we do?
I'm English gentleman. I'll do nothing.
Yes, well, the gentleman part just went out. It
I
just
know,
swayed off a
I
little
know.
bit, or wobbled a little there.
She's taking
like
me
a
off guard.
crown.
She's taking me off guard.
I'm sorry.
Now, what you do now, you absolutely love, and you said because of you had to put all that makeup on, all that garb and all that stuff, and then take it off, and you were telling me it takes twice to take the stuff off, and
Yes, it
everything.
does.
It's really hard, because there's so much on it.
There's so much.
And then your makeup today is absolutely beautiful.
Airbrush.
Ooh, I like that. Airbrush is fabulous. Now, how do you like your life now? Do you miss the dancing and all that stuff? And
There's a lot of dancers that go through a really big depression period. It's kind of like the elite athletes, because when you're on stage 6 nights a week, the adrenaline is huge, and it's like you live for show business, and so you become alive.
Just you walk on that stage and you're like, oh, you're a different. But look how happy her face is. Just thinking about it.
Alive.
Could you ever go back to it?
I could. My body. No.
That's what the
No.
body gives out.
No, because
the brain is still there, and the looks are still there, the figure's still there.
So yeah. So I was on stage and I was in Jubilee, and I was doing the principal part, and I was Delilah, and my partner was Samson, and it was a 20-minute segment in the show. And after we had just done the bedroom scene where Delilah seduces Samson, and then she sits him on the bed and she claps her hands, and she has one of her attendants bring over the pestle with the poison in it, right? Because Delilah has to, poison Samson with the poison pestle. And then he collapses.
Every night, right?
Right, every night.
Every night he
6
gets
nights
poisoned,
a week
this
he
poor
gets
guy.
poisoned.
What a job.
Right, so after we just did the adagio, like the bedroom section, I just sat down on the bed and I heard this massive tear in my knee during the show, and I've got the pestle, and right then I said, oh shit! And his eyes got really big, and I'm giving him the pestle, and he takes the pestle and he goes, what? And I said, I just tore my knee. And there's 1,000 people out there. And he goes, well, what do you want to do? And I said, carry on, dumbass. What are you gonna do? You have to keep going. I can't say, well, I'm really sorry, but
you have to carry on.
I just tore my knee and I'm done. So
I would have done that. I would have said, done my knee, good night.
No, God, I'm out. I'm out. Oh, that's funny.
You can't do that.
So you must have hundreds of stories, because I know you've also got a lot of girlfriends, and I want to bring these girlfriends on because,
I work with two of them. We've been friends for 20 years.
Of a dancer in Vegas. You were in Vegas for the 30 years?
Yes, since 1983. Wow. So I retired off the stage.
She is amazing, actually. I've just spent an hour or so on the couch over there trying to get...
No, they were sitting talking, not laying on the couch.
No. I was trying to get... I was talking to her in an English accent. She's lovely. She's lovely. She told me stories. And she's also... You're quite right, excited about the business when she talks about it.
Yeah, she gets all excited. I got her face like all lights up, and you get all excited about it. It's like you want to go back to it.
But you just can't. Yeah. It's every day you wake up and it keeps you so young, because the boss is 85 and she's like, I can't, we have rehearsal, she goes, you could be 45, 51 years old and you're all kids,
Yes,
so.
and you're still kids, well, to her, especially if 85.
Yeah, but it's just so fun. It's not even like it's a job. You just wake up and you laugh and I get paid for this?
Yes.
It's amazing.
Isn't that great?
Isn't that amazing? That's absolutely, absolutely amazing.
I've had a wonderful...
I just love it. Well, we're coming to an end, are we? Are we coming to an end?
Yes,
Can I just say something?
Yes, he keeps saying that.
Ninon de Verda Rosa is such a great friend of mine, and you know what? She is out there. She is out there every night doing the red carpet events. I know because I do a lot with her. And for the last 3 years, we have covered
so many
hundreds and hundreds
of events and red carpets and everything.
And you are the best at what you do.
Oh, isn't that? Oh my goodness!
No, I love you both. Here you are. I'm with two beautiful ladies, both talented. You are a gem, my darling.
Oh, how sweet! See, isn't that lovely?
Yeah,
thank you so much.
my pleasure.
On that, we're going to finish the show. This is our first show. We're down at the Peppermill, Las Vegas. Absolutely amazing. We are Vegas Live. I am Ninon, your host. We will be back next week with more guests. Don't go away.
Great.
Awesome.